she went to clean and heard a baby crying, she calmed it like a mother. When the father saw Eve stood on the creaky steps of the old two-story house with her cleaning kit in one hand and her worn-out purse slung over the other shoulder. It wasn't the kind of job she dreamed of when she first arrived in the U.S., but it was honest work, and it helped pay for her classes at night and send a little back home to her aging mother in the Philippines. The agency had assigned her a last-minute client in a quiet neighborhood just outside of Boston. Single father, very busy, be discreet, the message read. She rang the bell once, then again. No answer. The door was slightly ajar, so she stepped inside and called softly, "Hello. I'm from East Bay Cleaning. I was told to come today." No response. The house was silent except for the faint hum of a refrigerator and the ticking of a wall clock. And then, the sharp, heartbreaking sound of a baby crying. It came from somewhere upstairs. Eve froze. Her job didn't typically include childcare. But instinct took over. She slipped off her shoes and climbed the stairs gently, the sound of the baby's cries guiding her like a beacon. The nursery was small, cluttered with toys and laundry. In a crib at the corner, a baby girl, no more than 8 months old, cried uncontrollably, her face red, fists balled tightly. There was no one else in sight. "Shoo. Hey now," Eve whispered, her voice as gentle as a lullaby. She approached the crib slowly, letting the baby see her face. "It's okay, little one. I'm here now." Something in Eve softened. She reached in, scooped up the baby with the natural ease of someone who'd held many nieces and nephews. The baby clung to her shirt and slowly began to quiet. Eve rocked her, humming a tune she used to hear her mother sing. Minutes passed. Then, footsteps thundered up the stairs. A man, out of breath, shirt half-buttoned, rushed into the room. "Oh my God, is she okay? I'm so sorry. I just stepped out to talk to a contractor about the plumbing." Eve turned toward him, still holding the now calm baby. "She was crying," she said gently. "She needed someone." The man stopped. For a second, he was too stunned to speak. His eyes went from the baby, peacefully nestled in a stranger's arms, to Eve's calm face. "You're the cleaner?" he asked, almost apologetically. Eve nodded. "I heard her and I couldn't just ignore it." He rubbed the back of his neck, embarrassed. "I'm David. And this little one's Mia. I've been managing alone since my wife passed 7 months ago." Eve's heart caught. "I'm sorry," she said softly. "She must have been amazing." "She was," David said, swallowing hard. "And I'm trying, really trying. But some days, like today, it's just too much." There was a silence, not awkward, but heavy with the unspoken weight of grief and exhaustion. "I can finish the cleaning after I put her down," Eve offered. "Or stay a little longer. You look like you need a break." David nodded gratefully. "Thank you. I didn't expect this. Most people would have just left." Eve didn't answer. She just rocked the baby a little longer, whispering soft reassurances. For the next hour, while the sun cast golden stripes across the wooden floors, Eve cleaned with one hand and held Mia with the other when needed. She even made a bottle after finding formula on the kitchen shelf. David watched from the doorway. There was something in Eve, a quiet strength, a presence, that he hadn't seen in anyone in a long time. He didn't know her story, but he could tell she carried burdens of her own. Over the next few weeks, David specifically requested Eve. Not just for cleaning, but because Mia had taken a liking to her. Every time she saw Eve, her little arms would reach out, and her face would light up. One afternoon, after a particularly hard day at work, David came home to find Eve sitting on the rug, playing peekaboo with Mia. The house smelled of lavender and lemon. It was the first time he had felt warmth in this house since his wife's passing. He sat on the couch, watching them. "Can I ask you something personal?" he said. Eve looked up, a little cautious. "Sure. Do you have kids?" She hesitated, then shook her head slowly. "No. I wanted to. I was engaged once. Back home. He left when he found out I couldn't conceive. Doctors said it would be difficult. I haven't told anyone here. It's not something I talk about." David was silent. Not with pity, but with understanding. "I guess I always had that space in my heart," she added, her eyes misty. "That mother's space. I never thought I'd fill it." "Well," David said, his voice warm, "Mia doesn't know any of that. She just knows you make her feel safe." Something shifted that day. They began to talk more, about life, grief, dreams, and resilience. David shared how he'd almost lost his job juggling fatherhood and work. Eve shared how she cleaned by day and studied by night, hoping to one day open a small business. The months passed. The leaves turned amber, then bare. Mia began to crawl, then walk. And one winter morning, as snow fell quietly outside, David turned to Eve as she prepared Mia's lunch. "I've been thinking," he said nervously, "about what it means to raise a child. And about how no one should have to do it alone." Eve turned, surprised. "I'm not asking for anything you're not ready for," David added quickly. "But, this house feels like a home again because of you. And I think you already are a mother, to Mia. Whether or not you gave birth to her." Tears welled in Eve's eyes. For years, she believed she was incomplete, lacking something the world expected from women. But this moment, this man, this baby, told her otherwise. "You healed something in both of us," he whispered. And Eve, for the first time in years, believed it. They didn't rush anything. There were no grand declarations. Just small moments, a shared meal, a bedtime story, a laugh in the kitchen. Kindness built a bridge where grief once lived. Eventually, Eve did start her own cleaning business, with David's help. She became part of their family, not by blood, but by love. And Mia? She grew up with a father who never gave up and a mother who came into her life not by chance, but by grace. Because sometimes, you go to clean a house, and instead, you find a home.